Welcome to your Daily Five. This is for Wednesday, December 7th, 2022. I'm Bruce Fraser, today's host. With me today is Johni Scan. John, thank you for being here.
Great to be here, Professor.
So a little bit of in the holiday spirit here. Don't get Scrooged. Scan for trends. So what are we going to talk about today, John?
We're going to talk about going with the trend, focusing on the 39-week moving average, one of your personal favorites, if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely. And 39-week moving average of relative strength. I think that's the secret sauce. Anyway, but first we have an announcement, and that is December 15th, a very big event. This is the Best of Wyckoff. It's literally a conference. 5 speakers, 3.5 hours, absolutely free for all of our Wyckoff friends and friends of Wyckofians. And it is being sponsored by the International Federation of Technical Analysts and generously, and they are inviting everybody to attend. And go to ifta.org to register. It's near the top of the homepage. You'll see webinars, and you can go in there and you can read more about it and register. And our very own Johni Scan is going to be one of the speakers. So
absolutely.
We'll see you there. So thank you so much. And now, here is our scan for today. And John, what are we looking at?
Well, this is a very simple scan, way to develop skills, scanning the S&P 500, looking for stocks that have closed over their 39-week average. We have commented out language that lets us put a little bit of trend into the 39-week average, but for time being, let's just focus exclusively on closes in relation to the weekly average.
Now, another interesting thing about this scan is that it's ranked by Scooter. Tell us a little bit about that.
Scooter is the Stockcharts technical ranking system, and it gives us a fair approximation of relative performance. A lot of factors in there. You can read about that in chart school, but gives us a way to rank based on strength. And we're going to see the strongest first in the stocks that are over the 39-week average. So that's what we have there.
And for anybody that wants to put this scan into your scan engine, you can add the second line, just take out the 2 slashes, which comments it out so it isn't actionable in the scan. But put that in, you'll only see stocks that are above a rising 39, and we will talk more about that at a later time. The other thing we want to talk about here, John, is the scheduled scans.
Yes,
what do we have here?
Well, Stockcharts lets us develop the scan and then schedule it to run. We can have it run at the open, the close, or another specific time that is available there. And that gives us the ability to receive the results of the scan when we want them. Also lets us build a database of how many scans, returns 30, 60, 100, whatever. We can view over time how the scan is performing, how many stocks are coming back, almost like a breadth indicator. Very, very interesting.
And I definitely use it that way because you can see down here, here's the scan, and there are 301 symbols that were returned as being above their 39-week moving average as of December 5th, yesterday, day before we recorded, which was on Monday. And so on October 2nd, the scan engine returned a result of 61 names above their 39-week moving average. So we have gone from 61 names at the beginning of October, which was near the lows, to 301 names as of yesterday, and it's recently been as high as 333. So this is a great record. Every one of those scan results goes into your stock list engine or your stock listings so that you can go through and look at each one of them over time. And it just keeps putting them in there so that you can keep track. So it's a fascinating tool. Scheduled scans is something you should definitely be considering. And so here is our list. And you can see here is the scooters. It's ranked by scooter as we requested. And here are the strongest, and this is really kind of a momentum indicator. The strongest at this time, 99.4, is Etsy. And then as you go down, you can see these are the really top momentum stocks. And among the 301 names that populate this list, you can see, and here's 301 down here at the bottom, that the scooters get all the way down into the 20s. But it's pretty much going to be in order of the relative performance of each stock to each other. Very useful way to order the list. Our first stock today is Principal Financial, and this stock, as you can see, really began its upward trend when it got above the 39 in late 2020, turned the 39 up. An important reason we look for rising 39s, which is a future scan that we're going to do. This is the relative strength down here, and the relative strength is also rising. This is a confirmed uptrend. And note how this uptrend is just persistently up from 2020 to the present. And look at how well Principal Financial has performed in this really difficult bear market type year. The relative strength is just soaring at this time. And note how the relative strength just keeps going up and up. This stock first would have made our scan lists back in late 2020. John, your thoughts?
Well, very interesting interplay between the relative strength line and price. Notice how the relative strength line has just gone parabolic after touching the 39-week moving average and way up. So a lot of strength in this one. Very, very interesting possible reaccumulation with a breakout already.
Fantastic structure there, and it's just starting to run again. Here's Nucor Steel. This has a scooter of 95, and here we can see that the confirmed uptrend began again in late 2020 and has continued to remain up, only dipping below the rising 39 a few times. The relative strength has been persistently up and is currently making a higher high. This has the look of reaccumulation, and all we want to see now is the ability to get above the prior high made earlier in the year. John?
Absolutely. This one's presented a bit more of a challenge because of a couple of significant dips below the 39. But notice that we had a breakout from a smaller accumulation area all the way up to a climactic bar. And now we're forming a secondary structure that's pulled back really to a halfway point, at least, of the original structure. So where are we headed from here? Tough call there, but look at that relative strength line, just up. Looking interesting there.
Here is DexCom, and this is a medical supplies company, a little bit different picture. Note that this went on a buy back in 2018, turned up above its relative strength 39, above its price 39, and has consistently stayed in above throughout. And here you started to lose relative strength here and here. Now they both are back above. It's rising. This is a potential reaccumulation. Each of these pullbacks is shallow and narrow, which is a sign of it attempting to want to correct in a rally phase. John, your thoughts?
Very interesting here, particularly with the structural implications of the relative strength line itself. What a potential count if we go all the way back into 2020. Very, very interesting there.
Okay, and so our next one is a semiconductor stock. This is on semiconductor. Very interesting look to this one. Note the relative strength. So even when we were in a period where the market itself was weak and going down, and even semiconductors did not look that good in 2022, on semiconductor just showed incredible strength, rising above a rising 39 in late 2020 on price and relative strength in a rising trend. And then note the reaccumulation type structure, higher lows here since the mid part of the year. The relative strength has just continued to make new highs throughout. John, your thoughts?
Notice the slight divergences from time to time in relative strength and absolute performance on the price side. For example, June, July, higher low in relative strength, lower low in price. What does that tell you, Professor?
Always want to see relative strength making higher lows because the institutions are very focused on relative strength. It's very important to them. And as long as they see and can identify rising trends in the relative strength, they're going to continue to accumulate the stock. And you can see here that even when that was happening, the stock appeared to be under a reaccumulation type structure as that was happening.
Absolutely.
So, beautiful. Okay, now here's another interesting one. This is Paccar, heavy truck manufacturing. And John, tell us what you see.
Very, very interesting structure going all the way back into the first quarter of 21. Look at the higher low series throughout and a really exponential rise in relative strength going all the way back to March, April of this year. Very interesting things happening on this chart. Your thoughts?
Beautiful reaccumulation. Note the buy that took place back at the beginning of 2019 above on price and relative strength. This is very important to this trend trading model. And it's just up, up, up. And even when you had a break in the COVID drop below, you barely were able to turn down the relative strength for a short period of time. And then it was back into an upward trend again. So as long as the relative strength is up, we tend to try to stay with it. Relative strength turns down, we want to reduce our holdings and eventually maybe even be completely out of the stock. Reaccumulation here, jump up and out, very strong relative strength. It may have to back up here, but this now looks like a completed structure for another trend. Very interesting. And now we have a bonus stock and we have about a minute left. What do we see? This is a Gartner Group IT. As we can see here in 2022, a reaccumulation type structure, mid-year low, starting to rise. The relative strength is making higher highs. Moving averages turned up. Moving averages now turned up on Gartner Group, and they are both pushing up against their prior highs and attempting to reestablish a prior uptrend. And with that, we're out of time, John. Thanks so much for being here.
Great to be here.
And we'll see you all in 2023.
Hey guys, Dave Keller here with Stockcharts.com. Thanks so much for watching our video. If you enjoyed it, and we hope you did, hit the like button right below. Also, we have so much new content every day. Consider subscribing to the channel. Just hit the subscribe button in the video or right below. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. Have a fantastic day.